What's a Catholic priest? If I were to ask you that question over a beer or cigar, how would you respond? And then if I were to ask you, what's a wife, what's a mother, what's a husband, father? How would you respond? So, Catholic priest, would you say, yeah, a priest is some guy that says mass and goes and anoints people who are dying, runs a parish, manages finances for a parish and a school and so forth? Is that what you would respond? Just like, would you respond, yeah, a wife is someone that just cooks and, takes care of the house. Father is someone who goes, works, puts food on the table. Is that it? No, there's something deeper to the identity of a priest. Husband, father, man, woman, wife, mother. Something deeper for the vocation. These are vocations. The heart of the priesthood is the love of God. It's the love of God. That's what a priest is. A man who loves God so much, he's given everything away, willing to die for God. So when you're thinking about what a priest is, or a wife, or a father, whatever, think not so much of the function, the activity, rather than the identity, the essence, and the virtues. The virtues that go into making this man a father, this woman a mother, this man a priest. So the virtues for spouses and parents, one of the virtues I would say, is the virtue or the spirit of self-sacrifice. Okay, a true, authentic father, mother is someone who gives of themselves. They're not selfish. It goes for a priest as well. Also for the priest, the virtues are outlined at ordination. So when a man is ordained a priest, this is his marriage ceremony, if you will. Makes promises to the bishop. There's a number of them, but three stand out, the three major ones. Priest promises prayer, obedience, celibacy. Prayer for the rest of his life, that's what he's about, man of prayer. Obedience to the bishop. If the bishop tells me to go to St. Paul of the Cross, sorry, I gotta go. And then celibacy, chaste celibacy. And all these promises are rooted in the love of God. We do these things because we love God. The priest loves God. I think back to my vocation. When I was called to be a priest, or when I heard the call specifically, I was in college. I know I've talked about this before. Looking back on my life, I see that even as a kid, I was called to be a priest, but I didn't know. I didn't hear the call. And one of the reasons, by the way, I didn't know is because I never really had contact with a priest. The priest, we went to mass as kids and all, but the priest was like this guy up on the altar. This really old guy up on the altar. No offense, Father Roger. And I couldn't relate, all right? It wasn't until college I actually met and talked with the priest for the first time. Until college. And it opened my eyes. It's like, wow, these guys aren't freaks. They're actually kind of cool, and they're inspiring. So that opened the door to me thinking about, wow, this is a life I could live. In fact, a life I want to live. And then what began to happen to me in college, so 21-year-old, is that I fell in love. And I felt my heart just completely consumed for the love of God. Love of God just completely owned me. And I realized this is what I have to do. This is how I want to live. Completely in love for God, and to give my life completely over to God. And the way to do that is in the priesthood. My heart was hardwired for God. Just like when a husband and a wife meet each other, your heart is hardwired to love that person and not that person. That's the grace of God. And so when I was ordained, I was excited because I just wanted to love God and I wanted to give myself over to Him. Now notice, and this is still true today, but notice when I was ordained, I wasn't like excited, yeah, I want to be a priest so I can be a pastor of St. Juliana and run a school and fix broken pipes and boilers and get yelled at in the back of church because the church is too cold or too hot, right? Those things weren't in my mind. Okay, now that's part of the priesthood, but fundamentally, what's first? The love of God. Just like a man and woman, when they get married here, they're not thinking, yeah, I can't wait to fight at IKEA and, change dirty diapers. Now, you can't ignore those things. You have to do them, but love comes first. Love is first, the action follows. This is what Jesus is saying. I'm the good shepherd. I lay down my life for the sheep because of the Father. So the action Jesus is doing, he's laying down his life for the sheep. Jesus is dying for us. That's the action. But what comes first? Why does Jesus lie down for the sheep? Why does he die for the sheep? Because he loves the Father. He loves the Father, and the Father wants him to do this because the Father wants to save us. Jesus came to this earth because he loved God, and he died for us because of that love. We do all these things. The priest does all these things because he loves God. And that love never goes out. It's the burning bush that's never consumed, always on fire. And that's the heart of the priesthood. And that's why it's a beautiful vocation. Same with marriage. And if you're struggling in your marriage, if you're consumed in the ugly part, just like a priest can get consumed in the ugly part of priesthood, go back to the day of your marriage. Whether it was here in this church or whatever church it was in. Right, go back. Why did you say yes? Why did you make those vows? Because you love that person. And without that person, your life would be incomplete. I go back to the day of my ordination 9 years ago. My life would be meaningless, would be incomplete without the love of God. The life of a Catholic, you all are baptized in the common priesthood, is fundamentally love of God. You do all these things as Catholics, go to Mass, pray your rosaries, contribute to the church, whatever, because you love God. That's first and foremost. Never lose sight of the essence of who you are, the love. Let your heart be consumed with this fire. It's the most beautiful journey you could ever walk into the heart of God. Friends, pray for me. Pray for Father James. Pray for Father Manuel, Father Roger, our seminarians. Pray that we may be good priests. That is, priests that love God. Priests that deepen throughout their lives the love of God, their prayer lives. Their lives of celibacy, which allow us to live for God. Our lives of obedience, which allow us to love God. Pray that we have hearts that love. And join us on this journey into the heart of Christ. Amen.